Test. Oh, hey everybody, what's going on? Hopefully you can hear me and see me and feel my energy. I am Gazbot. I am here for the Kaijucon after party. What is that? Kaijuconline is not officially sponsoring this. I was there as part of Artist Alley. I did do an Ultraman panel, and this is the aftermath to that. And what I mean by that, here, let me put my little banners. I'm playing with something new here, by the way. I'm going through StreamYard, which I have never used before yesterday. Yesterday on the Ultraman panel, that's how it was set up, and now I'm trying it myself. So I'm calling this the Kaijuconline after party because during that panel where I was with Bob and Keith, we were talking about all things Ultraman coming up and the card set I'm going to be working on, etc. And I was working on a head sketch of an Ultra hero, specifically Ultraman Great, otherwise known as Ultraman Towards the Future, or the Australian Ultraman. And I didn't finish it, and so I said, you know what, today, meaning today, Monday, I will finish it. And because that was live, I decided to make this live and just play around with it. As you can see, I'm running little banners and all kinds of stuff. Not something I've normally done, and this is the free version. Maybe if I pay some money, I'll get a more souped up one where I can put all kinds of crazy custom stuff. This is just what it comes with. But what am I going to be doing? Like I said, I'm going to be drawing this. So you can see I've already started. I kind of have maybe the inks or tight pencils done, and my goal is to finish it up and get all the color in today. Maybe an hour, 2 hours tops. I don't think it'll be that long, but I have an hour or two to work on it today, and that's what I'm doing. Let me check out how chat works. We got CP Porter, Siri. I'm sorry, buddy. I know I always get your name wrong. I'm just calling you CP. CP. And you have an avatar of an Ultraman. I am curious what Ultraman that is. Here, I'm gonna. Okay, working on. Okay. Oh, you know what? I realized. Check this out. Here's what I could do. Bam. Could do that. So okay, working for it. Okay, working for you. An edit of a nice. Oh, okay, gotcha. So I was saying that this was an Ultra hero that I didn't recognize, but it's an edit, so that makes sense. So thank you for that. And we got Matt here too. Hello, sir. Welcome to the stream. Like I said, I'm new to StreamYard. It's actually kind of easier to use than what I usually use, but it's also a little bit more limited. But I don't know. I think I like it. And part of the reason I'm doing it today is because tomorrow, Action Activate will be having a guest, which I will go ahead and say who it is. It is Colin Bass of Crimson Vision Studios and The First Ninja and Unworthy and all that stuff. We're going to be interviewing him and talking about everything he's done. And I wanted a new interface, so I figured I'd try this today. And if this works out, I will use this tomorrow. And if it works out well, we might do a live one like we used to on Twitch, where you guys can ask questions. So if you think you might have questions or comments for him, think about him and show up again tomorrow, roughly around the same time. Might be a little after 5 because we got to set up with him. So maybe 5:15, 5:30. I'll post about it tomorrow. But let me say, but for now, let me see how I switch this. I think I can make there we go. Make that bigger, make myself small. And I will actually get started on the art here. Now, what's funny is it looks kind of almost done until I turn off the roughs underneath it, and then it looks, to me at least, a little bit unfinished. Now, part of that is putting in the shading and stuff, but I want to go in, and I have reference up on the screen in front of me of Ultraman nice, Ultraman Great. And so I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to bring this down to 50%, and then I'm going to go in and make some edits. The main things I want to look at are on the helmet here. So it's not bad, but I think I could improve it. That's too big of a thing. Let's see. Oh, that chat scrolled back, unfortunately. Here we go. But yeah, if you guys want to have any subjects you want to chat about or questions about whatever, I'll do my best to chat/answer while I'm working. It's funny because I got invited to that Ultraman panel and I was super stoked to be on it. But I was worried because I don't consider myself an Ultraman expert. I'm a fan, but I mean, I'm barely an expert on Power Rangers. You know what I mean? Like I hesitate to call myself a Power Rangers expert because everybody knows more than me. But I'm even less of an expert on Ultraman. But I am a big Ultraman fan. I just haven't seen all the different series and stuff. And I've been working my way. I'd started Great a while back and never finished, and I started again the other day, and I'm already on episode 4. And I've just been having it on as I work and stuff. If I wasn't doing this, I'd have the episodes on in the background as I was working. but it is power. I keep confusing Powered and Great, because Powered is the American one and Great is the Australian one, and they stand out as being separate from all the other Japanese ones we ever had. So that's why I kind of cluster them together unintentionally or intentionally, but I keep mixing them up unintentionally. Plus, as we know, I'm terrible with names. But what was my point? Oh, that it holds up pretty well. Some of the effects, like the digital effects, are a little bit weak because you could tell they were like early days of figuring that stuff out. But the suits and the monsters and the cinematography and stuff, it's pretty good. And the acting and the scripts and stuff, there's like a little bit of comedy. I like the commander a lot. He's kind of like a gruff jerk, but in a no nonsense kind of like. He's not a. It wouldn't be a great friend to hang out with, but he's like a good guy to have your back kind of thing. So yeah, I'm digging it, and I'll probably I have another Ultraman piece I'm working on, a much bigger piece of Ultra 7 and Ella King that's going to take a lot longer. I'll probably watch the rest of those episodes while I work on that. Let's see. Let me pop this up. Have I been watching Ultraman Z? No, I have not. With the modern series, I've watched Ginga, Ginga S, all the movies affiliated with that, and I started X. That's as far as I got there. I will eventually watch Z, but I don't like to watch out of order if I could help it. And the thing is, I think I've talked about this before when it comes to Power Rangers and Toku. If it's dubbed, it's easier for me to watch because I could watch while I'm working and things like that. Let's see. And Matt, I don't blame you. So I don't know much about Ultraman. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, the original series is very old and dated, but that's kind of what got me into it. Like, I love the design and stuff, and I liked the civilian stuff more. Well, not more, but as much as the monster, like giant superhero stuff, which surprised me. I thought that would just be sort of a secondary thing. Now I'm trying to redraw his, for lack of a better term, ear here, because Great looks a lot like the original Ultraman, like at a glance, but there's some specific differences. One of them is this, like the ear protrusion thing on the side of his head. It's more round as opposed to the original Ultraman. It's more of like a rectangle. So I'm trying to correct that, but it's also like a little bit of an angle here, perspective wise, so I could see the inside of the rim there. And then there's actually a circle in it as well, which, so I kind of did an okay job of like without like looking too closely at it. It was passable before, say, like, but it just wasn't the right shape. So I'm trying to fix that, but I also don't want to be too heavy-handed with it. I think I have this angle a little bit off here, so I'm gonna tuck that out like that a little bit. That's better. Let's see. Started Orb yesterday. Only new gen I hadn't seen on episode 20. Oh, well, you're definitely doing better than me. Like I said, I am certainly not an expert. And even if I had watched all of them, I wouldn't call myself an expert because I wouldn't remember all the details that a lot of people do. I'm just going to erase this whole bottom part because I think I put it at a weird angle to begin with. Problem is I'm drawing it at an angle that isn't really of my reference. So I think, what's messing me up too is having that other structure in there that I built before. Instead of trying to fix that, I think I will just erase it completely. Boom. All right. Then I could start from scratch. I think would be a better idea. But yeah, I want to fix these ears. I think I might want to adjust the mouth area just a little bit, and the eyes. I think the lines I used on the eyes are a little too thick. Excuse me. Great looks like 50% of the 6 Ultra Brothers. Yeah, it's true. It's true. But like, but that's kind of what's neat about him is that it's not until you look closer that you can see the differences. I haven't seen much outside the new gen. I've seen the original completely through. I've seen most of Ultra 7. I've seen most of Ultra Q, which Ultra Q is the one that's not really about Ultraman. It's sort of more like a Twilight Zone kind of series, but it does introduce a lot of the suits that later become monsters, and even Ultraman himself kind of sort of is in it, the suit, like a prototype version of the suit. So those are the first 3 series, and I've seen all or most of those. And then I've seen the movie Next, Ultraman the Next, which I didn't particularly like. And then a bunch of just random ones here and there. And then, like I said, then I went to the new with Ginga and Gingas. But I like Power Rangers, like Super Sentai. I want to watch all of them. Theoretically, I want to watch all of Kamen Rider too, but Kamen Rider I know the least of everything about. I've seen most of the first series and a bit of X-Aid, and that's all the Kamen Rider I've ever seen. Not including Masked Rider, of course, the American version, because that's not Kamen Rider. And I think of all the adaptations, off the top of my head, I think it's one of the least faithful in terms of source material. Masked Rider to Kamen Rider, Black RX, that is. And having not seen Black RX, just my understanding of what that series is typically like, and the craziness that is Dex eating a juice box and having a little talking Furby pal. I think that's a lot closer to what it's supposed to be. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Now the funny thing is the left one isn't too far off because I just sort of drew the outside shapes, so I don't think I have to do too much to that. Let me put a little. I forgot to put the little inside ridge since we're looking up into him. You can see that a little bit. I'll do the same thing here a little. So this side I might be a little. Let me merge this level to have that on a separate layer. No, I don't. Okay. Sorry, a little Photoshop house cleaning. Oh, I see the banner on the bottom. Let me see. I could change that. Saying I got the big one. Oh, I could have both on. That's a bit much. And I could also be like, hey, buy my stuff on Etsy. Do. But I think for now, this is probably the best one to have for anybody jumping in that doesn't know what's going on. Let me go back to comments. So, see, I want to, CP, buddy, I want to say your name, but I hate mispronouncing people's names, and I feel like I keep mispronouncing it. I know you've told me how to pronounce it, but I'm just terrible. So, Syrian, CP. Anyway, what is your favorite Ultraman series of the ones you've seen? Being that I guess they're mostly the modern ones. And yeah, now that I think about it, I'm trying to think if I've seen any Heisei Ultraman at all. Oh, right. So this is, I might just leave that as is. That's pretty good. I think that's fine. So I'm gonna go into the mouth a little bit, like I was saying. Clean this up a little. I'm gonna draw a layer over top like that. Let's see. Kiran? Oh, Kiran. Kiran? Oh, okay. That's how you pronounce your name. I'm like, what series was that? So Kiran Porter. Thank you very much, sir. Sorry about that. I promise I'll mess it up again in the future, but not on purpose. Kiran Geed. I've heard good things about Geed. So that you seem to be in good company with what people choose there. Let me, I have another mode I just realized I could do where it's the whole thing. Maybe that makes, I don't know. Is it better to have my little head here, or is it better just to pop up, hey, I have a thing to say, and here I am. Maybe I leave it like this the whole time, and then if I have a little thing, I'm like, oh yeah, here's a little comment. And then if I have a big comment, I'm like, here's a big comment. And then if it's like, art's no longer important, look at me. Probably this is the best way, just as a default, I'm guessing. All right, so what did I want to change? Oh, the chin, I think I did a little bit not accurate. So that line's correct. And I think I just sort of made a separation where there didn't need to be one right here. So like that. And then that comes down. And there's a little bit of a curve, which I do have. Maybe it's not as off model as I thought. I just was looking at a picture earlier and I was like, oh, that looks different than what I drew. But I think it's mainly just that line that I put in. I probably didn't need to have there. I wonder if I cut that out, that just fixes the whole thing. Matter of fact, let me do that. I did also already put some shading in, but I turned those layers off because I find if you try to edit and adjust things with the shading, it just makes it a lot harder. It's better to look at it clear with the lines by themselves. Oops, get rid of that. And that's a line that I put there that could maybe be done in shading instead of in a hard ink line. Or the other thing I could do is just put in a little bit like that instead of such a hard line. That might be good too. Yeah, that's probably good. Oops, I dropped my pencil. Well, stylus, whatever you want to call it. Let's see, put your comment. I love that I could put comments up like that, but I still feel the need to read them. X is probably my second favorite. Then favorite show design is Taro. That's funny. I've heard a lot of people say they really like Taro's design. I haven't watched Taro. I know Taro mainly from Ginga and Ginga S. I never loved his design. I I always liked of the classic brothers. I liked the original, and I thought Ace was cool. But that's because Ace has a mohawk, and I'm like in a punk rock, and I always thought that was kind of a cool '80s looking thing. Even though that's probably not even what it was supposed to be. It's just like a fin. Um, but Taro, I never loved. And one I hated was Ultra 7, which is funny because now I like it because having watched this show, I like the character and like now the suit appeals to me. Sometimes it's funny how that happens. But I think with Ultra Heroes, the ones that have more silver on the suit, I prefer to the ones that have more red, which is makes sense with Taro because he's got a lot of red. But yeah, a lot of people like him with like the fin horn things he's got there. Uh, and then X is probably my second favorite though. Oh, sorry, you already said that. Um, and Matt says probably yeah. I know I'm the worst. I'm sorry, I mess up the names. And then Kiran says, it's a strange name, not really all that common outside my country. Yeah, but and I appreciate you saying that, but I mess up names that are common in my own country. I'm just bad with names and like I'm a scatterbrain sometimes. Like I feel like my mouth works faster than my brain, and then my brain forgets even what we talked about. But I appreciate you being gracious. Gracious. Thanks for being gracious. I appreciate you for being gracious. Even though I continually mess it up. Keyran. I'm going to keep saying it, hoping I'll remember. I'll probably remember it the rest of today. It's the question is, will I remember it next time? All right. So let me think here for a second. So that goes up there. Okay. So I pretty much had it. I just want to make this line come down, and then it kind of merges in here like that. I think the angle's a little bit off there. That's a little better. Now, you know what? That's the top is good, but the bottom, it doesn't. Okay, sorry. Now I see what I did wrong. It merges like here. So you could see the side of like that sort of chin nub, but it doesn't go into the rest of it. And on this side, you wouldn't barely see it. So I have that. That looks correct. And then you would see that. So it's all a matter of angles and stuff. Okay, now the bottom of the lip looks okay. Well, lip, I mean, it's not really a lip, but I think this part in here I need to clean up a little bit. So I'll erase all these and redo that part. And then once I get this, like I said, I'll thin out the eye lines, and then I'm probably going to head into shading and color. So this shouldn't take too long, hopefully. I'm going to take a sip of tea. Excuse me. Ultra 7, the most popular. Actually, let me turn off this banner. That's getting annoying. It's been on too long. Turn that off. Yeah. I think the fact that I had it scrolling across is a bit much. Ultra 7 is the most popular in Japan. I've heard that like more. He can't be more popular than the original. Showa, you're saying it can't be more popular than the original, right? I mean, I figured the original is always like the most popular of all time, like kind of like a Superman, Batman type character, right? But I do know that Ultra 7 is popular. When I was in Japan a couple of years ago, I really wanted to go. The actor, I don't remember his name, that played Morobashi Dan, the civilian form of Ultra 7. He now owns like a restaurant, and in addition to that, there's like a shrine that has Ultra 7 has like a. Actually, I have a. You know what? Let me give myself full screen because I have a toy I can show you. Full screen. Ultra 7 has what they call a slugger or an eye slugger, I think. And again, it's just sort of like a fin thing on top of his head, and it comes off and he throws it. And there's a shrine that actually sells these as like a charm, like a blessed keychain charm or something like that. And so I really wanted to go to the shrine, which was also near his restaurant. And I wasn't able to. There was just a lot of stuff I was trying to do, and I couldn't make it happen. But that makes sense that if there's a shrine making a slugger from the character, that it must be pretty popular. Also, I collect the SH figure arts, some of the Ultra Heroes, and I have the civilian version of Ultra 7. They haven't made one of any of the others, including the original Hayata. So that surprised me, but I don't know, maybe you're right. Maybe Ultra 7 is actually more popular than the original, which would explain why his civilian form got a figure and is the only Ultra hero at this point to have gotten a civilian form. The only other one I could think of Toku like in that line at all is the original Gavon got a civilian form too. Let's see. Let's see. Not really the case in Japan, but the original is used as a base for consistency with the designs. Right, but that I don't know if that equals popularity or not. Oh, look, there's the little one. It's always backwards. And then full, and then there's that. All right, so let me get back in here. Okay, yeah, there's just a little bit more of a curve to it that I wasn't getting. And then up. Then on the top, it kind of flattens out a little bit. And then there's probably a heavy shadow there, like what I erased, but I'll make sure I had it going the correct way. And again, I probably would rather not make it completely black, but shade it in with various grays that might eventually become black, but this gives me more options. All right, so now that I've done that, let me go in here and erase this, which again will probably end up, a lot of these lines will end up putting back with shading, but just not with hard ink lines. So put it there like that. Do I even want that? I feel like depending on, like that. Yeah, there we go. Right, get that in there. I keep thinking I'm hearing something. Oh, I got a text from the big dog. We've been talking about toys all day. Just like on the show, it's real life. Let's see. As original Ultra 7, Man, and Q were all meant to be standalones. Yeah, makes sense. And that's why they were all so different. But I guess then it caught on, the whole Ultra Hero thing caught on. Well, it's just like the original Sentais that Power Rangers were based on were meant to be standalone, but they kind of retconned that to all be part of the same universe eventually. Now that I move that, no, that still works. Okay. So let me just put that in there. Put that like that. And I will put a little bit of black just right there on the tip. And let me zoom out. And if I make this 100%, a little more accurate. Now it looks a little bit weird because this top part wouldn't normally be so bright. And I'm going to shade that in, but not right now. But at least now I have, the form is more correct. I mean, well, let me see. If I just shade it in, what would it look like? I mean, that definitely looks more correct, but no, see, now I'm second guessing myself. Maybe I should. I think what it is a lot of times, and with he's no exception, the light sort of hits the top. Oh, let me merge these down. The light sort of hits the top part. So I'm gonna, here's what I'm gonna do. I got it. I figured it out. I'm gonna fill this all in, right? But that looks too much, and it is. But the way to fix it is because the light hits like a rim along the top. So there is a heavy black, but it just doesn't reach all the way to the tip of that form right there. So I think that's sort of what I'm going for. Oops. Let me zoom out all the way. Yeah, it looks a bit better. I think yeah. That's part of the problem is I zoom in to see all the right details, but then I miss certain proportion things. Like this should be sticking out more on the right than on the left. So I'm just gonna fix it in digital. Oops, I got the right thing here. Yeah. Let me check chat. As they collaborate with Toei for a fourth Captain Ultra, they collaborate with Toei for a fourth Captain Ultra if what I heard was true. I'm not sure what that means. You'll have to explain that. I'm sorry. I don't know who Captain Ultra is, unless you're just referring to like Ultra heroes in general, Ultra men. Is there a specific character called Captain Ultra, or like I said, I'm no expert. You gotta fill me in here. Let me turn off my. You guys probably can't hear the notifications, but I can. So let me turn these off. There we go. Okay. No more notifications. No. All right, so let me zoom out of here. Oh, I forgot. I had to move this side of the lip out, which is what I was doing, but I got sidetracked. That's why I had to turn off the notifications. Big dogs are like, woof, woof, let's talk about toys. I'm like, no, man, I'm talking about Ultraman, and I got to move this lip piece over. I call it a lip because I mean I don't know what it is because it's not like Power Ranger Sentai where they have sort of what actually look like mouths. But the original Ultra suit, the early episodes, there's 3 suits, and they called it. I do actually know a lot about the first Ultraman, just not about all Ultraman. They called it Squish Face, and there was A, B, and C, and A was the first one. It was called Squish Face, and the reason was most of the Ultraman helmets are very actually, this is a good time where you could kind of see my face. Most of the Ultraman helmets look like metal or plastic or fiberglass. They're smooth and hard. The first one, it looked very rubbery like the rest of the suit, and it had like kind of a fishy mouth, like a meh, meh, meh. And so they call it Squish Mouth, and it looks weird that, like 5-10 episodes in, whatever, it switched to a different helmet, and then later the boots changed and whatever. But my understanding is that originally it was meant to speak. Ultraman was going to talk. I mean, Ultraman does talk, but it's more of like a voiceover, like I am Ultraman, like from on high. You don't actually see his mouth move, but originally it was going to move. And so it was built that way, and they changed their mind, and then they made it more this hard thing. So I think what they did is they sort of took that alien squish mouth design and just sort of hardened it up. And that's what we have in this going forward with most Ultra heroes. You could see sort of a chin and bottom lip and kind of a mouth, but it sort of looks very geometric and very non-organic. And so it makes it tricky to draw because I want to make it look like a mouth would look on an organic being, but that's incorrect because it's not really a mouth. It's just sort of like shapes that sort of vaguely represent a mouth. It's a very odd design. Like I think if it hadn't started the way it did, I don't think they would have ended it with this design. It's definitely, I think, an example of like, oh, we just ended up with this because of production changes along the way, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just interesting. Yeah, there we go. That too, because we see the bottom of that. I'm really needling the details here. I did this whole thing in like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever the panel was, and now I've spent like 25 minutes like just retouching certain things. And I thought about redoing the whole thing, like to get a better line quality, but I think I'll just keep it as is and go back in with the color. But I do, yeah, see, when I go in tight, it looks fine, and then I come out and it doesn't. All right, good for now. So let me go to the eyes. I am glad I changed the ear. The whole mouth thing I probably could have left alone and it would have been fine. I'm just like really overthinking it, especially once I go in with the shading and stuff. But the ears definitely needed to be done. And see, as I say that, I'm looking at the mouth. Like maybe I want to put another little piece under there. Leave it alone for now. I'm gonna leave it alone for now. Except for I'm gonna draw that. All right, now I'm really gonna leave it alone. The eyes look more or less correct, but I just thought they were too thick of a line because it's supposed to be like a thin piece of plastic or energy or whatever it's supposed to be in the show. Let me go back so you can see. Oop, add to stream. There we go. Let me see what Kieran Porter has to say. As Ultra was originally, let's put it on screen here. As Ultra was originally the name of an anthology series of shows, right, with Ultra Q, with each one focusing on something else, with Seven and Man being the closest, right? I'm with you so far. Then they used the name Captain because they were importing Captain Scarlet the same year. Oh, so the 4th series after Seven was going to be Captain Ultra, but I thought the next one was it Jack? I forget the order, but after Seven it was Jack, Taro, Ace. And then there was Return of Ultraman in there. But that's what I'm saying. I don't remember Captain. So was Captain, they did use it and I just didn't know that? Or is that a working title that got changed to Jack or something? I know that Jack weirdly was picked because there was like hijacking, and they thought that like as an American word, they just thought it was like a cool word, like it just sounded interesting or powerful or something. So that's where Jack came from, which is kind of crazy. Jack, Ace, Taro, Seven. Yeah, so that's the 5 Ultra brothers. Jack, Ace, Taro, Seven, and Ultraman. And then in Return of Ultraman, I don't know if that was I guess that was the original Ultraman. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it was supposed to be the same entity or if they bonded with Hayata or someone else or not or what. I didn't actually look into that, and I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But again, yeah, the Captain, I'm still not sure where the Captain, if it was just again like a working title or if it actually became a thing at some point. Let's see. Oh, Leo, I forgot about Leo. Yeah, Yada Smelkins. Leo, yeah, thank you. So Leo, 7, Taro, Jack, Ultraman. I don't know why I'm doing this. I can't remember names or numbers. There was many Ultra brothers. Leo was one of them. I don't remember any being named Captain though. Um, let's see. Captain Captain Ultra wasn't so popular, so they don't talk about it until he owns it. But was it a series that was? So I guess it was a series that wasn't officially in the Ultraman canon now, but it came out around that time. I'm guessing is what you're saying. Um, Zophie is a female German name. Oh, interesting. And then, yeah, for those that don't know, Yada Smelkins is Big Dog Defender. I don't know why he has this name on here, but yeah. All right, so let's see. We got an answer here. OG, 7, Ace, Leo, Taro, and Jack are the original brothers. That sounds right to me. Wait, are we missing anybody? Ace, Leo, Taro, Jack. Yeah, I mean, if we're missing someone, I forget who it is. So I'll say you're right, even though I don't know if you're right. No, make me smaller. There, I'm smaller. All right. So what was it doing? Oh, eyes. I guess well, I was gonna say it's taking me longer because I'm talking, but I was talking in the stream too, but I had 2 other people, so I was only talking a third as much as I am now. All right, so let me, here I'm gonna make this whole thing. I don't mind the shape. Let me see, how's that for? Yeah, that's good. So I'm just gonna ink/trace over my own line. I have a monitor in front of me that I could tilt, so I'm tilting it to get a better angle at it. One of the other differences that I talk about is the original Ultraman, most, if not all, I mean, it must be all, maybe certain stunt suits or whatever, but all the Ultraman suits have somebody in them and they're wearing them, and they have to have holes near the eyes because if they were clear, they could just see through them, like the Ranger visor or whatever, but usually they light up and they have stuff, and it's sort of like right here, and there's like a little teeny area where they could see, and often, like the original Ultraman have little holes like that. Ultra 7 had a big one in the middle, which makes them look kind of weird, to be honest. And with Great here, he doesn't have that. What he has is sort of a long slit, and I think a lot of the newer ones have this too, although I haven't looked very closely. He has sort of a long, thin slit underneath, like this. Actually, it goes back further than I had originally, like that. And that is what the actor has to see out of, which is just crazy. So you can imagine there's a lot of probably practice and memorization when it comes to the choreography because there's very little vision. Now the question is, do I want to fill this in completely black? Let me zoom out, see what that looks like. If I bring this up to 100, that doesn't work. I have to erase this because I have it on the other layer. Yeah, that's better. I think I'm going to leave it black. Let me see here. There we go. I'm back. Okay. Captain Ultra is more along the lines of Q, just some reused suits and didn't have an Ultraman and a Zophie as a brother. That does make me interested to see what it is though, because like I found Ultra Q interesting as a show, like again, like a Twilight Zone show, but also to see the elements that went into Ultraman. So I might have to track that down. I'll talk to Keith, who works for Mill Creek, see if they have the rights to that, if that's coming out at any point. Excuse me. A little tea for my throaty. You know what? I think I could do something here. Let me try something crazy. Let me pause the drawing for a second. And let me see. Okay, I'm doing a little behind the scenes here. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try an on the fly thing here. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna send a message on Facebook to somebody to see if this works. Okay, and I'm coming back. Okay, now you have my full attention again. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Sorry. Toy Tokusatsu World official has the first 2 episodes. Oh, like online? of Captain Ultra. Oh, interesting. And then Yada says, according to Ultra.fandom, there are 8 Ultra Brothers and 5 new Ultra Brothers. Huh. I wonder if Zero counts as an Ultra Brother since he's the son of 7, but he wouldn't be a brother. Maybe Zofia is one? I don't know. I always think of the first, like, in order of the series, and I don't know what the new Ultra Brothers are, but interesting. I mean, I guess it's like any fandom where it changes over time and gets retconned and flipped around and stuff. I'm getting a text that is not from the big dog. Okay. All right. But anyway, getting back to what I was doing. So if you can see, let me take myself off screen here. If you can see what I was talking about, like the mouth thing is kind of subjective. The ear definitely need to be done. The eye, the shape was fine, but like look at the left to the right. To my mind, the one on the right definitely looks more correct than the one on the left in terms of representing what the eye would look like on this character, either as a suit or as if you think of it as like an actual being. All right, so now I'm going to do the same thing with the other eye. It stinks too because the mouth is hard to draw because of all the weird shapes and the geometry and trying to figure out how it fits together. The eyes are hard to draw because you need to do like a really smooth curved line without stopping. Like, say, I'm not particularly happy with that one, so I'm going to do it again. So I'm not, the lazy part of me does not want to have to redraw these. But the part of me that wants it to look as good as it can is like, no, you got to, sir. All right. So let me bring it in here. So thanks for everybody who's watching it later, because I'll throw this up later, but also for you guys stopping in live. I appreciate it. I know this isn't something I normally do. I did a few live streams this weekend with Kaijuconline, and the other ones I did on Facebook, which I don't think Facebook is a great venue for it. A, I don't have the controls like I do here, and B, it's just like, I don't know, something about YouTube is just better group of people, not that people on Facebook are bad, but a better group of people that might be interested in this sort of thing, and just, oh, there's a live video, let me hop on and chat a little bit. And it's good because if I was just working on this by myself, I might do it today, I might finish it, I might not, but because I'm like, hey, I'm going to stream, I have to do it because I kind of committed to it. And now I could end right now, but it would be like, well, I mean, why don't I wait till I'm done and then end the stream? That just makes sense, and then also not just for live, but for later, if people watch the video later, it's gonna be like, oh, he got like halfway done and then stopped the stream. That's disappointing. All right, let me erase the eye underneath and I'll check chat in a second. Excuse me. And I think I need to adjust that a little bit. The line weight is okay, but I think I made the oops, a little hole underneath a little bit too. What am I doing here? Is there something underneath? Okay. I'm trying to erase. It wasn't erasing. I think I had it on the wrong layer. My eraser, that is. Okay, so let me see. We got new comments. Oh, I got to scroll. Whoop. So, Keyran Porter says, I said 6 because of the 6 classic used in Ginga Man 7, used in Ginga. Man 7 Ace, Jack Ace, Zoffy Taro. Okay, that makes sense. And that is what I was thinking. I couldn't remember. I forgot Zoffy was the other one, but that's what I originally thought too. But yeah. And we missed a bunch of others. See, I don't think of those as brothers, but I haven't watched those, so I guess the classic brothers. The more you know, G.I. Joe. I guess the problem is we got Yada Smelkins again, the Big Dog Defender, is telling us that, but really it would have made a lot more sense if we just had a Big Dog Knowledge Zone.
I should have just been here and said it. How goes it? Can you hear me on this headset okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Well, I can hear you. I wanted to give you a one shot, but I don't know how to do that in this, because if I do that, that's the art. That's you and me in the art. That's me in the art. That's you and me. I could make us be equal, but I can't make you be by yourself because I'm hosting.
Once again, Gazbot's like, sorry, I gotta put the spotlight on me. I can't do it for you too.
It's true. I can't give you a Big Dog Knowledge Zone. The best I could do, let me see. No, I can't. The best I could do is us be equal and me just not talk. Sorry, man.
Well, now we know. It happened. I didn't plan this, but I happened to have a. I brought this up on a different video, but a local artist art T-shirt for your art stream. Yeah,
Mike Hampton.
Sorry, I was covering it for those who haven't watched Breaking Bad.
Oh, I didn't know what you were doing. Okay.
There's a spoiler on my. That's why it's so awkward. Like, hey guys. But yeah, there's a spoiler on my shirt if you haven't seen it, and if you haven't seen it and you like very gut wrenching content, I highly recommend you watch it.
Well, thanks for stopping by. I don't know how long you want to stay. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. I know this was we didn't. So for those at home, we did not plan this whatsoever. I didn't even know he was going to watch the stream. So then but I realized that there's a way that you could just add
Yeah.
people on the fly, and I was like, let me see if I could do this. And so we tested it, and it works. And you've shown off your T-shirt, so if you feel the need to head out, that will not offend me.
I will in a sec, but I will say, having never used StreamYard before, it's pretty cool. Very WWE of people waiting in the wings, and it's like, oh my god, watch out, watch out, watch out!
And also,
I'm here.
I don't know if you saw it before, but also it's like, here's some banners. Check out Gazbot on Etsy. And then it's like, oh, you're watching Kaijuconline After Party. Pow, pow. And then the thing with the chat, I do like the thing with the chat a lot. That's one of my favorite things, that I could bring comments up, like just, and it even has a little icon of the people.
When to do it?
Yeah, I'm doing this automatically. So it's
That's
comments
cool.
don't come up. So if there's just people talking to each other or something I don't want to respond to, I could ignore it. But if I want to pop one up, and so just Kieran is saying, and yes, man is the official shorthand for Ultraman #1, which makes sense, but I don't love it. And you're getting a little hello from Matt.
Woo, woo.
Let me turn off some. The only problem is these banners do get a bit much after a while, so let me turn these off.
That's all good. I do like that. Oh, who's the original? Oh, it's Ultraman, man.
No, I think they were saying just man. You don't say Ultra.
No, I'm definitely calling him Ultraman Man from now on. So thank you, Kieran, for sprinkling that knowledge in.
Sorry you have to go. It's a shame.
So one thing I'll say, since you talked kind of on your own the whole time. So I know we were talking toys earlier, and you brought that up. Does this make you want to look into other Ultraman that people brought up in the chat any more or less, or about the same?
I want to eventually watch every Ultraman.
Yeah.
So that remains the same. One thing I will say, like a lot of people have been talking about Z because that's the current one out, and it's like it makes me think. And I heard somebody say that it's dubbed. Is that maybe Kieran can tell us if there's a dubbed version? If there is a dubbed version of the newer stuff, I would jump on it a lot quicker. So as much as I kind of want to get through the classic stuff too, like I sort of started at both ends. So I started with Ginga and I started with the original. And so they're moving this way. But if there's any that are dubbed, I know people like frown upon dubs, and I love the Japanese language too, but just in terms of being able to watch it more quickly, dubs would work out for me. So that would be the thing that would change it. If somebody said, oh yeah, Geet is dubbed or Z is dubbed or whatever. I think there were some movies of X maybe that were dubbed, but I haven't gotten that far. But otherwise, no. I'm the same level of wanting to get through them that I have been. All right, so I'm gonna stop with the line. Maybe possibly I'll clean it up later on my own time, but I think that's good for now. And I'm gonna go into some shading and coloring so we can finish this up. It's been 45 minutes, so 45 minutes to get to the shading and coloring, but this part will go a little bit quicker, I believe. Merge down. Okay, so let's see what's going on in chat. And I think, Big Dog, I think you can just leave whenever you want, right? Like, it's not like I got to kick you out. You could just, yep, there he goes. I wonder if he froze because he didn't say anything and I don't see him waiting in the wings here. Maybe Evox came. Here we go. Keyran. See, even though I keep saying Keyran, I just want to say Ciarian, which doesn't even make sense with the letters. Like when I was a kid, I would read stuff all the time, like the character Galactus from Marvel. I still have to force myself to say Galactus because as a kid I read Galacticus. I don't know why, but anyway, their sub and some of the mini stuff is dubs, but not Z at the moment. But I believe Super Eye's looking into a dub. Yeah, for the long form shows. So I'll get to him eventually, just very, very slowly. I've actually been working on Dino Thunder. I'm getting close to being done with that series, which is exciting. I've been enjoying it. I don't know where it falls in my ranking of Power Rangers series, but certainly in the upper half. It's certainly like on the good side. Because there have been some episodes that I really loved, and then others that were kind of dopey. But overall, I like it. I will say, depending on who you consider the sixth Ranger, I guess Tommy's like the fourth Ranger. Well, there's only 5. I don't love oh my God, Trent. I don't mind the actor or anything, but the character, and I understand. And spoilers for anyone that hasn't watched Dino Thunder or Abba Ranger coming up. I understand that he was only evil in the Sentai, and so that's why I have to make a lot of choices. But it reminds me of like later season Mighty Morphin, where he's just like always knocked out or not there for the fight, or it's sort of just I don't know, it kind of gets old that like he can't just be part of the team more. I understand that's not that's the fault of the Sentai, but it's just it makes him a less compelling character to me. Um, Red, I really hated in the beginning. I've warmed up to him a little bit, but yeah, the Red is maybe my least favorite character on the show. I prefer Trent. Like Trent, like I said, it's difficult because he's never there, but when he is, I do like him. He's kind of like an interesting, like his suit is cool and like the actor does a good job. But like, yeah, just the characterization of Red, he just is like, I don't know, he just doesn't take it seriously. He seems kind of like a jerk, and he's gotten better. He's gotten better. He's not like early season Ravi on Beast Morphers, but we're supposed to be talking about Ultraman. Got me talking about Power Rangers. You got me. Nobody got me. I did it myself. Let me see. Matt says Dino Thunder is one of his favorites. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Like, even the nitpicks I'm saying, it's still a good season overall. Even though the Battleizer mode is possibly the worst in the whole series. Kieran, Trent is the official Six Ranger for Dino Thunder as revealed in Super Mega Force. Okay, yeah. So as Six Rangers go, I would have to sit down and really think about it. But kind of how I said, Dino Thunder is definitely in the upper half of series I like. Trent is definitely in the lower half of Six Rangers. Probably not to the bottom of the lower half, but maybe near the top of the lower half. One day I should sit down and do a ranking of all this stuff. Maybe after I finish watching all the series, but because also a lot of this is always I have like my thought now, but then okay, so here's the rough shading. Let me turn off the rough shading. Let me do color first so that I don't get influenced. I have my thoughts now as I'm watching whatever series, but like sometimes that changes when you like really think of it in a larger context, All right, so this I want to do 100% opacity. I'm just gonna do very flat color and then do the shading over it. So I'll pick a pencil tool. So this is red in here, and then he's got sort of a red stripe on his arm. And what's also interesting, going back to the differences, suit differences, that is, for most of what I've seen one or two promotional shots that contradict what I'm about to say, but I think it's safe to say for the most of the time, while the helmet is the normal silver that the other Ultra Heroes have, the suit seems to be, instead of a silver rubber, it seems to be more of a white sort of spandex lycra material, which I'm sure lets the actor move more and breathe better. I don't think I like it better. I don't like it better physically, like in the live action. I don't prefer it, but I do like that. Like drawing it or in the action figure or whatever, that it is different. That it has. Oops, wait a minute, I'm doing something wrong here. It has. Oh, I see. Okay, that it has. It's white as opposed to silver, so it makes, even though he's so similar in a lot of other ways, it really makes him stand out there. I'm looking at the stripes of color. Oops, I'm looking at the stripes of color here. I think, why does it keep doing that? I don't have it sealed. Some gap somewhere, so I'll just do it by hand. I'll check the chat in a minute. I think I just saw something pop up. So this is red cuts in here. Because we're looking at him from below a little bit, his chest area is covering up some of the detail, but there should be a white/silver part coming up here, and I think I just forgot to make like an ink line, so I'm just gonna erase it right here, and that'll be the line right there. And then I'll just bring that in. There we go. That's what was missing. All right, so that's all the red. He does have red on the back of the head, but I don't think we're going to see it from this angle. Let me check chat. Actually, let me save before I check chat. 3. Save. Uh-oh. Is it crashing as I save? Don't do that. Whew. Okay. That's the worst, when you remember to save, and if it crashes as you're saving, it's like... All right, so... Oh, we missed a few things here. Matt, I agree with Trent. I was never a huge fan of Connor. You and me, Matt, we agree on a lot of stuff. Yada Smelkins, true words have rarely been spoken about Connor and Ravi. Some controversial opinions on Trent. Yeah, I know he's popular. And like I said, I'm not even saying I hate him or anything. He's just weak because of the storytelling. I think Great would be better if his head was also white as the suit in the movie. I seen Great was in and was white. Oh, so there is a version where the head is white as well. I'd have to see it. I know there's the animated one that is all white too, but I guess that doesn't show up in live action. I'd be interested in seeing it. And then Matt says, I still have to see SPD Mystic Force to watch, if I recall correctly. And I have to finish Overdrive with Big Dog and Kieran. Indeed, Kieran, but it does make sense with footage reasons. Yeah, like I said, he gets a bit of a pass because like I understand why it is the way it is. But yeah, SPD and Mystic Force are the only seasons I've not watched anything of. Dino Thunder I'm almost done, and Overdrive has been started. And I was kind of kicking myself for not getting done quicker, and not to bring up the whole controversial is Power Rangers ending, which I low-key regret making those videos because I didn't realize how controversial that topic was going to become. Like whatever, because it's not a matter of if I think it should happen or whatever, but I was just like, hey, this is what people are saying, and whatever. You guys know the weird controversial nature of it. But if, just forgetting about the news, but if Dino Fury is the last live action Power Rangers series as we know it, I don't know if it is. I'm not saying it is, but if it is, that makes me want to slow down and not finish what I haven't seen, because that might be all there ever is. So maybe I don't want to watch them for a while because I could, like, it's like when you have a box of cookies, you get down to the last few, maybe I'll put them away for tomorrow, that kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll see. Excuse me. No, just the body was white, but the head was silver. Yeah, that's how he looks on the show. Like I said, I have seen, when I was looking for reference, still shots where it looked like the body was silver, but I've watched 3 or 4 episodes of the show, and the body is white, spandex-looking stuff, and the head looks like the normal silver. Kieran, I think white would work better to be more different from the rest of Ultraman. Yeah, agreed. And then, yeah, no regrets. Conversation was sad. Mission accomplished. Yeah, I mean, we got some views and there was a conversation. I just don't want to be like a drama channel, and I didn't think Power Rangers would have that much. I mean, I should know. There's always drama in everything, but it's fine. We did it. It's not like we said anything that terrible or controversial. Like other people said crazier stuff and got more flack, but that's not what I'm looking to do. I'm just looking to have fun. And I was like, hey, here's this crazy thing that's happening. What do you guys think? And some people were like fake news, and it's like, okay, yeah, like maybe it is, but like, and that's the thing. People saying that they don't believe it. That's fine. There's no proof. You don't have to believe it. But there was people that just seemed mad and angry about it. So I don't know. I didn't like that vibe. And like I said, I low key regretted if I had anything to do with creating that or adding to that atmosphere in the fandom, because I don't like it. Big Dog is a little bit more into arguing and aggressiveness than I am, at least in I think in all things. I think in all things. Maybe in real life too. It's hard to say. He could speak for himself next time, or if he's still in chat. Let me check. I also like. It's interesting. Some of the pictures I look at, the timer stone looks kind of blue, but I believe it's supposed to be green. Most of the shots I see, it's green, and the episodes I saw was green. And again, that's something I like, another little detail. I actually haven't watched Powered at all. I've seen clips of it. Powered is the American one. From what I hear, it's terrible for a lot of reasons. But everyone agrees it looks cool, and they have cool suits. And I love that suit. And he has blue eyes as the American. And it's like, that's so cool. It's like the only one, at least that I could think of, that has blue eyes. So I love little changes like that. So let's see. No regrets conversations had. Okay, let's see. Oh, we have drama, just usually with 2 people. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, you and me arguing, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, we're buddies, and we know it's all good. But like online, it's hard to tell sometimes, who's. It's just different, Kieran, sorry. No, you're fine. Like I said, it's not you. It's it's just the way things. It was a weird vibe in the fandom that I didn't realize was happening when we made those videos, and I didn't. Yeah, it's fine. I'm probably making more out of it than I need to be. I just, I like to keep things positive. Yeah, Big Dog, since you like to argue. That's what I should have done. Is I should have not made a video, and and again, it was originally me and Big Dog, but the sound messed up, and maybe people still would have been mad. But if I didn't make one and just let Big Dog make one, and then he could argue with whoever he wants. You know what I mean? All right, so let me take the same silver that I put on the timer and use that for the helmet. But I won't. If it was a normal Ultra Hero, I'd put the same silver on the suit as well. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it white and then just put the shading in as discussed. arguably there might be a hint of a shade of like grayish so that it's not 100% white, but I think to make it, what I want to make sure it looks different than the helmet, so I'm going to intentionally leave it 100% white until I put the shading on. All right, so that's the basic. Oh, I got to put yellow in for the eyes, and his eyes too. A lot of the Ultra heroes have yellow eyes, and then when they're lit up, there's like a little bit of orange or a little bit white or whatever. His are definitely yellow, like the original Ultraman, Ultraman Man. See, now you got me doing it. But I feel like a lot of the images I see of him when they're lit up, it's much brighter, more close to a white. But for the base layer, I'm going to do yellow, and then I'll go in and adjust it after the fact and put in a little texture and stuff. Let me zoom in here because I'm worried I'm coloring outside the lines a little bit. Let me see what chat's saying here. Big Dog Yada says you should change your name. I don't know why. No one here created negative drama. Much love to the regular actors. Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm not talking about you guys, and yeah, it's fine. And like I said, I'm probably making a bigger deal than it is. It's honestly, I've seen a little bit with us, just a little bit, and not so much on YouTube, but on Facebook. But I've seen it much more on other people's YouTube Power Rangers channels, and I'm just like, I don't want us to be that, you know. And nothing against those people. I want to do our thing, and that's not what I want to do. Kieran says, I'm surprised they never did a British one with how much influence Thunderbirds had on. Oh, that's a good point. I wonder why. Yeah, they because like they're hitting all the English speaking countries. They should have done an English one and a Scottish one and an Irish one and a Canadian one. But yeah, that's true. All the miniature work on the what did they call it? Super Marionation or whatever for those shows. It's funny. I never saw Captain's. Like I've seen clips of them. I know what they are now. But as a kid, I never saw Captain Scarlet, and I never saw Thunderbirds. But there's another show which the name is escaping me. You might know because it was here in America like years ago, briefly, but it was probably bigger in Europe. It was like Thunderbirds, but it was in the future. So they had like I mean, they had rocket ships and stuff like Thunderbirds did, but Thunderbirds, I believe, was set in the present. But anyway, but they had robots, and I remember they had these little ball robots that were like on the good guy side, and then they had square robots that were on the bad guy side. Let's see, Super Mario Nation. Yeah, thank you. And then Yada says I created this years ago based on an old gamer tag a year before Big Dog was created. Yeah, but can't you change it? Is it you are unable to change it, or you just not want to change it? You have like what was the name of that show? You know what's funny is I looked it up a while ago and I was like, oh, that's what it is, because I thought I was getting it wrong. I thought I was thinking of Thunderbirds and just misremembering it, but then I was like, oh no, it is actually a different show from the same kind of style of creator. It's kind of like if I was like trying to remember Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. I'm like, it was like Power Rangers, but it wasn't Power Rangers. All right, so let me go ahead in with some shading now. Okay, I can erase this layer. Oh, I have my temp shading, so let's see how that looks. All right, that's actually not too bad. Maybe I'll just. Well, I'm not gonna use that, but I'll do the helmet first, and I'll go in with a darker shade of soul. Woo woo. I'm gonna put a little bit of blue instead of just straight black, and that'll help differentiate when I do the gray as well. So this will be. I find that a lot of times in artwork and in promotional images and stuff with Ultra Heroes, kind of have one side a little bit in shadow, especially behind the fin, seems to work really well. And I can see why, because as I'm working on this, I'm like, yeah, that just pops it out and stuff. I don't know. It does something. It's like automatic drama, and it sort of pops out a lot of the details. All right. So the way I do shading a lot is I put it in heavy and then go back in it and erase details. And that's what I'm going to do here, which is harder to do analog. It's a lot easier when I'm doing digitally, which is why I almost exclusively color digitally. Not 100%, because I do get commissions where I have to do color, but if it's not a commission where someone's paying me extra to do traditional color, I almost never do. I like doing grayscale traditionally. I have like 20 different gray markers, but excuse me. Let's see. Yada Smelkins, I could send you a link on how to change it if you want. Oh, that sounds like a good offer from Kieran. You should take that. Let me take a sip here. Terrahawks, thank you. That is probably definitely what I'm thinking of. And then Matt changed his, so you probably don't want to. Or no, he is very lazy and less tech savvy than I am. Even though I'm not very tech savvy, even though he works in computers. Let's see. Much appreciated. I'll keep it for now. As many know, Gaz is a tech of I'm just the guardian, which is crazy to me because I am not that techie. Again, and I don't work in computers. I'm the artist. So it's such a weird dynamic we have. Let's see. A little bit in here. So what I'm going to do here is this looks like heavy shadow, but I'm treating this as the not heavy shadow because I'm going to go in and lower the opacity of the whole layer once I'm done. And then I'll put another layer in that'll be what I consider the heavy shadow. But I want this to be harder and heavier than what goes on the rest of the suit. Oh, actually, though, I do want to include the timer because these, by doing it this way, it'll differentiate the materials used. Hold on a sec. I did that wrong. There we go. By using harsher, like metallic or plastic or hard edged things have just heavier, more linear shadows. And so it helps in that way. All right, and maybe, okay. So now I'll go in, excuse me, and do a little bit of erasing. What I'll do is I'll do it at like a 50% opacity eraser. So even though it's a hard line, it'll sort of, oops, that's on the color, wrong layer. It'll sort of soften the edge a little bit, but not too much. And usually, wait, did I do that on the wrong layer? Oh man, okay, I think I did that. Oh, I did some of it on the wrong layer, but I can fix that. I select this, okay, I delete it all. Oops, I delete it all, and then I fill it all in again, like Michael Finnegan. But now I have to fix that. That is the peril of digital, is being on the wrong layer sometimes, but I'll take that risk. All right. Kieran says not hard. I had to when I privatized. Oh, okay, yeah. But as we see, it seems more like he just wants to keep it. So that's fine. Just inconvenience me forever, but that's fine. Whatever makes you happy there. Big dog Smelkins. Yada defender. All right, so soften. And I'll bring it here because there's something called backlight or reflected light. Excuse me. I'm drinking the tea, but this is the fourth live stream I've done in like 3 days, so I'm definitely feeling the crispy, which stinks because we got another one tomorrow. And so yeah, it does look like we're probably going to do a live stream tomorrow. Ask Colin. I did, Big Dog. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I did drop the bomb that we're going to be doing Colin Bass. Is it Bass or Bass? I assume it's Bass. We could ask him. We're doing the interview with him tomorrow. And I asked him, and he said he's fine doing it live. So this is working. So I'm thinking we'll probably do it in a very similar format to this, so that people could chime in and ask questions, etc. Let's see. Oh yeah, then I want to do it. Okay, I do want to get a little bit under the eye here because there's going to be a glow, so it probably shouldn't be quite so dark there. And similar here. All right, so I got to put it back here because that was on the wrong layer before, right? So this one I'm just going to fill the whole thing in because it's going to be mostly in shadow, and then just pull out the piece like that. Oops, actually that's wrong. The shadow should be there. And past the shadow like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to take this whole thing and bring it down to 50%. Soften that up. And doing that also makes me realize I should have put some shadow here like I intended, because that was the line I took out that I said, oh, I'll fix that with shadow, and then I didn't. And I'll put a little here, and I'm just going to kind of hit all these contours. There, that's better. And then soften them. And more shadow up on top of the lip here. Actually, I think I might even, yeah. Needs more over here, I realize. I'm going to put in other layers, so I'm trying not to do too much, but you know what I want to do? I want to put, yeah, just to help with the shape. So this is kind of like, would this shadow even be here? I don't know, but I want the shape, the line to help define the shape, which means I'll bring that one up a little bit too. And you know, I might even take this down to 25% and then put in 2 more shade levels. Let me check chat. Yeah, you like that, Matt? Big dog Smelkins. Yada Big Dog says, words have no meaning on a planet under the Cape of War. Prince Dex. Michael Scott. That's good. Well job, sir. That's a Ninja Steel point. You didn't know you could get those on this stream, but you can apparently. And that works for me. Glad the knowledge was dropped. But I think there's probably gonna be more people here tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, it's action activate. This is just me. I mean, it's as Austin St. John says, it's action activate, and that's where it's at. Much love, peace. If you're not watching it, I don't know. Maybe you need a doctor. I've seen that so many times. Because I edited it and I put it up, but it's like the preview video on my channel. So whenever I go in to add something, update something, I get Austin St. John saying, "Hey, it's Austin St. John, action activate." I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, thanks." I'm really well. I was gonna start talking about stuff that we haven't talked about on Action Activate yet, so I will not. That's the only bummer. I'm excited about this interview, but that means we're not gonna get to the big third part of the crossover for Beast Morphers until the week after. Oh, well, okay. I haven't even talked to the big dog about this, but this week is an interview. Next week will be another Beast Morphers review. There might be another guest situation coming up soon that I won't say who, but it might be maybe the week after, possibly that soon. And I'll have to talk to the big dog about it. And that's just take that tease for what it is. I can't say more right now because it's not finalized, but it seems likely to happen. And I think if it works out the way it's supposed to, it's going to be fun. It won't be an interview. It will be a guest, which is different. So again, I've said too much. Let me see here. Okay, so that's working the way I want it to. So now I'm going to make another layer, and I'll make a darker color. I think I am going to do three layers, that is. So now I'm going to go in with, oops, darker. There'll be one more super dark shadow after this, and then when I do the suit and stuff, it'll actually be a little easier because I don't have to be so precise. This gives it a little bit of dimensionality and just makes it feel more, I don't know, I guess real, for lack of a better term, even though it's a very cartoony style, by adding different layers of gradient. And because when you have just one, and it's a lot of people call it cell shading, it's a nice effect. I don't mind it, but you see it in animation and video games a lot because it's easy and it kind of gives the illusion of depth and shadow and stuff, but it's not at all the way light behaves in reality. And even the way I'm doing it is not at all the way light behaves, but it's every extra layer you can put in, every extra light source makes a little bit more convincing, you know? And so I used to just do one, then two. Lately, I've been doing three, even on my basic drawings. You know, when I do like the stuff behind me, it might have like 50. You know, it gets crazy. The Ultra 7 Ella King. Actually, let me save this real quick. I'll show you guys the Ultra 7 Ella King I'm working on, if you're interested. Because even if you're not interested in those characters, it'll be a big print here. Let me see. I have to go in and tighten up the line work, and then it's similar to this. I have like temporary, let me make it full screen. I have temporary shading and stuff, but I'll remove the shading, tighten up the line work, and then this is going to be full color, and I'm going to make a print of this that'll be like the ones behind me. Probably not for a little bit because I don't know when I'll get a chance to finish it. This is what I did on the live stream for Kaijuconline. It took me 4 hours after having already had done a rough sketch. It took me 4 hours to get this far, so you can imagine it's going to be a while till I can clean it up in color and everything else. Let me go back to this and let me close this and reopen that. Theoretically, I could maybe do a headshot print of this if there's enough demand for it. Maybe I'll throw it up and see what people say. I like when things are a secret to the host. I'll tell you later. I just don't want to say it online. I like how Gas keeps things as justice. You guys are making more of it. How am I arguing with the big dog when he's not even here? tell him later. Kieran Porter, quick question. How would you say Ultraman Ribbit? Is that the red? Well, see, I'm reading what you put here. R-I-B-U-T, which I say ribbut. I guess if I was thinking, if it was a Japanese word, it would be libut, like almost like reboot, because like the R is like a R, and then I is E, so reboot, reboot, Ultraman reboot. That's how I would say it in Japanese. I haven't. I don't know if that answers your question at all. Yeah, it's a gift not many possess. Yeah, you argument from a far man. All right, let me get some shading here. How are we doing on time? 6. Okay, so the deadline I gave myself was I wasn't going to go past 7. So if I'm not done by 7, I'm going to end either way. But I should be done before then, hopefully. Okay, soften that again, like I did with the other stuff. Oh, I'm softening before I even finish all the. I got to put some more heavy shadings in here. They pronounce. Oh, okay. Kieran says they pronounce it reboot. So I can't not say frog sound. Well, I think what helps is that the red and blue one? Is that like the not the newest one, but like the one before? Because I just knew it was R and B. I hadn't heard that word. Again, looking at it, says like ribbit. I totally get that, but not that I know Japanese very well, but I have taken a few Japanese classes, and so if I see a word like that, I'll try to think of how it should be pronounced, which I'll often get wrong. But in this case, I said it's sort of like reboot, and there you go. It works this time. Right, and oops, hold on. Get a little bit in there and there. And so I didn't want the shadow to be right at the eye because, again, there's going to be some glow, but a cast shadow past it, a little bit heavier because of the light, makes sense. So I'll do that. And also up here on the fin, where part of the head is probably being blocked. And then again here, it's just sort of make the form work. And in here. And of course down here is the heaviest shadow because he's imagining like the sun or whatever is above him and we're looking up from the ground. So there's always going to be heavier on the bottom. Speaking of which, I probably should make this a little bit, yeah, like that. And in there, I'm sort of imagining the light sources from above and to the right, the primary light source that is. And again, it's sort of a half realistic physics and half what looks good in the drawing. And there's always a cheat where you could be like, oh, I'm just going to imagine there's another light over there. There's something on fire, or there's an energy beam coming, or who knows, just if you want to make stuff look a little different. But it doesn't make sense. You could either actually show it or just be like, well, in my mind, I know there's something over there. Yeah, there's the other thing. He has a triangle timer. Most have circular timers. And his is very distinctive. Yeah, the more I look at it, I'm like, there's a few little things. There's a lot of differences. There's a lot of differences, just like all the Ultra heroes have differences from each other. But there's a lot of really distinct things for such a. Yeah, you look at Ultraman Zero, and everything's different, But Great seems to fall in line with like Jack and Man, and of that sort of stereotypical base form, but has a lot of things that very few, if any, other Ultra heroes have, like green, like triangle, like white suit, things like that. So having watched the show a bit and working on this, I will tell you, you know what this has done, made me feel like I definitely need a figure of Great. I don't have one. I would like a vinyl to match my powered, because I know they don't have an SH Figure Arts, but they have like the 6-inch vinyls that look pretty good. The bummer with those is they scale perfectly with the old Ultra Act figures, but they're too big to scale with the new SH Figure Arts figures, and I have a little bit of both. So but I'll still get it. I'll just put, it'll be all the classic ones I have like the first. I don't have Zophie, but I have the first 5 other than Zophie, and then Father of Ultra, and then I have a vinyl from the Hero series of Mother of Ultra, or Ultra Mother, Mother of Ultra Mother, I forget which it is, and Powered. So I guess if I put Great in there, that would, it's sort of like the classic lineup minus Zophie, and then the 2 foreign Gaijin ones. All right, let me stop this for a second. Look at chat. Yeah, Big Dog is the power starting arguments anywhere. You are absolutely correct. And oops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. Kieran says, no, it was a promotional one from South Korea. Oh, okay. Well, then I had never, this is the first I've heard of it at all. It's an official one, not one of the ripoffs. Gotcha. I remember there was also Ultraman. What was the one? Wait, was it nice? The one that was like for commercials in Japan? Maybe that. Oh, and that's the one that you did the. Yeah, that makes sense because I remember thinking yours looked. So I think Nice was the one that Japan used for commercials, and is that the one that you? That's the one you modified your avatar for, correct? Or am I way off? Actually, I think I have a Spark doll of Nice. I don't have it up, but I got one when I was in Japan, because I thought it was like so unique and cool. And I'm like, we're probably not going to get those here if it's just for like a commercial series, but you know, I wanted it. Okay, let me soften these up a little bit, and then we'll go on to the next phase. Actually, I did soften up most of them, but I just added a few more. So, all right, let's see. If I take this down to 50, what I would normally do is take it down to 50, but since I'm going to put another layer, I'll take it down to 25. I think I'm going to go back and add some more to the bottom lip. I have to bring this up to 100% so I could sample the color. Otherwise, it's going to not sample correctly. Yeah, I think that's what I should have done to begin with. Okay. Soften it so it matches everything else. Then bring that back down to 25. Maybe we have this. Was this 50? Yeah. Maybe I should have heavy shadow. Erase this. I got too much going on in here. I got a little crazy with these lines. That's the part where I was trying to be like, just artistic flair, but looking at them together, it just doesn't make any sense with the shadows and stuff. All right, put that back. That's better. I think what I'm going to need to do is put, oops, I need to sample the color again because I have the other one on here. I think I'm going to need to add more, but just not in such a flourishy, weird way like I was doing. More of a straight line like this, yeah. That's better. I was getting too jiggy with it. Nah. What? That's not a thing. It is. Ask Will Smith. Oh, brother. Go back to the 90s. This is the problem when I don't have a co-host. I just go off on little random banders. Random banders? That's not even a word. What's he saying? Who's the comedian? I'm reminding myself of that comedian. Oh my gosh. He always talks like, oh, this is terrible. He's been around forever. He's been around since the 80s, but he still does stuff. He's a chubby white guy. He does. Is he gonna do the voice? I don't know. He always like makes fun of himself as though he's like his mother or something. That's not right. I cannot remember his name. Let me look at chat. That's nice. Syrian port, meaning the character is nice. Oh, I meant to do this, or at least this. I'm on a server and people request riders and Sentai edits. I hadn't done an Ultra and wanted to do, and thought nice looked really Thunderbirdy. So, oh, okay, that all pulls it together now. Awesome. Okay, thank you. Oh, that just posted twice. Okay. Kevin Meaney, that's his name. Kevin Meaney. Woo, we did it, guys. Kevin Meaney. I think I'm gonna fill this in. I think I made a mistake by trying to, because I'm gonna add the glow later. I don't know why I was preemptively adding the glow, and it's just making it look weird now, which would probably look fine later, but it was bothering me. So there we go. Good, done. That looks better. I'm gonna do the same thing over here where I took it out unnecessarily, I think. Oops. But again, I'm still gonna do one more layer. How we doing? Yeah, we're doing okay on time. We're doing okay. Okay, so bring that down to 50. Excuse me. And fill this in. A little bit more here. That makes more sense. Yep. in there. I was getting the top, but not the top down lighting more, but I wasn't doing a good job on the side lighting. So I'm fixing that now. I think it's working a little bit better. Oh yeah, get on this ear part because a lot of that would be out of the light. Oh, you know what? I haven't put anything on here. So I'll leave just one layer just to get some heavy shadow, but not the light shadow. Because it's mostly in the light, but it's got to have a little bit of shadow, right? Even Luke Skywalker had a little bit of the dark side. And fill this in. There we go. Okay. So, oh, I'm also going to put a highlight too. Okay, so this will be the super dark. I'm actually going to use almost black. And I'm going to just, let me zoom in for this one. Let me check. I was fixing typos. I didn't realize you could load delete. Oh, yeah, I guess because it all comes up to me. I guess because I'm the administrator or whatever you want to call it of this session. And who we got? Hey, Drake Drago, welcome aboard. I think, are you Aki Dragu as well? Maybe, I think so. It's like with the Yada Smelkas. You guys have different names. Sometimes I mix up. Are you two people? Or are you one person? Either way, hello and welcome aboard. We're coming in the home stretch of this Ultraman Great piece we're working on here. And Matt's saying hi. And Kieran says also more specifically Virgil's color scheme is a pilot of Thunderbird 2. Gotcha. Okay. I don't really know Thunderbirds, but I recognize the blue and like I said, they have those hats, so the point on the top of the head works. And Drake Drago is Aki Drago, so welcome aboard. Like with Kieran's name, which I might forget how to pronounce later, I can't promise I'll remember all your aliases next time. Whoops, what am I doing here? All right, but I will do my best. Okay, so now I'm going in with just a heavy shadow. Heaviest will be along the fin here, the ear, a little bit in here. This is weird. It's sort of a combination between my quick sketch style and my finished art style. It's like a hybrid, so it's sort of like more finished than I thought it was going to be, but not as finished as I would normally make it. So like that's what I was saying. Like I wasn't planning on making this a print, but it's coming out a little bit better than I thought it was going to. And if people want it, like maybe what I'll do is I'll throw it up for like a pre-order and just say like I have to get like, you know, a certain number to make it worth printing. Because that's the thing. I don't make, some people like do their prints at home. I send out to get them done. And if I don't get, if I couldn't just sell one. Sometimes people will see a piece of art I have and be like, oh, I like that. Can I buy a print of it? And it's like, yeah, but it's going to be like $40 or $30 or something, which is not what I want to charge for it necessarily, but it's going to cost me that much. So it only makes sense if I'm ordering several. So if I put a pre-order up and I get like, you know, I don't know, 5 people that want it, then it makes sense and I could sell it for like $10 or something reasonable. I don't know. Also, not only would it have to be people want the art, but Ultraman Great is not one of the most popular Ultra heroes either. So I guess once the art's done, it couldn't hurt to throw it up and just see what people say. Nothing ventured, nothing Brock Sampson. That's a Venture Brothers thing. I don't know if you guys ever saw Venture Brothers, but yeah, it's a good show. I haven't seen the last couple seasons, but I worked on it years ago when I lived in New Jersey. I was an intern there, production assistant. I used to be in animation, for those that don't know. That was like my first job. It was actually one of the coolest shows I ever worked on, but I like did the least amount of creativity on it because I was so new. And then I animated on a bunch of kid shows that you guys probably won't know, and commercials and things like that. But I haven't done that for years. That was the East Coast Gaz. Now I'm West Coast Gaz. Which is funny because there's a lot of more animation in California where I live now than there was in New York, but not where I live. Where I live, there's even less than there was in New York. Well, that's not true. There is like Industrial Light and Magic and Pixar, but I'm not, A, I don't do a lot of 3D, and B, that's like saying I want to be an actor, but only if I could be Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? That's like not the level. I'm being realistic about my skill set and my experience. I would not likely be getting a job there. But even if I could, I would need different. I would need to be a 3D animator, and even my 2D animation skills are probably rusty at this point because I haven't done anything serious in a while. I've been focusing on the illustration more. All right, so let me take. Oh, got to put a little bit in there too. take this and bring it down to 50. All right, cool. So I think that does it for all the shadow. Let me check chat real quick. Matt is asking, oh, okay, just asking about name. Nobody else needs to be involved. We'll keep that between them. All right, so let me put some highlights. You know, I'm going to take a sip of tea. I'm almost out here, so it's good. I want my tea to last till the end. It's a little bit cold, but it's still delicious. I'm gonna give myself a nice big one shot. Here we go. You ready for the tea? Here we go. It's a Star Wars mug. Yesterday I had an Ultraman shirt and an Ultraman mug, but now they're both dirty. So Star Wars and X-Men is what you're getting. Ah, the cold tea that refreshes. Normally I drink coffee and tea with milk, but this is my third cup, so I'm like, I don't need more milk. It is tea Earl Grey cold. Computer, tea Earl Grey cold. No creamer. Did she say Rimmer? No, creamer. All right, what was I doing? Oh, highlights. So similar to the shading, but easier. I'm going to do the highlights in a couple different passes. Usually I just do 2 and then like a super, super white. And this is mostly what I do for metallic. I do this on some Ranger helmets I do, but I wouldn't do this on anything organic. So I will take first, sample that color, and then pick a lighter shade. And then get a big brush. Like this. So actually, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of doing the erase, I'm going to put it at 50%. Then I don't have to go in and erase because it already has soft lines. And I will go and erase a little bit for other reasons, but I don't have to clean it up. The same is what I'm saying. All right, so a lot of highlight there, a little bit there, boop, boop, boop. All right, then I will go in and erase where I don't want it. You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm still softening the edges regardless. But you can see how it's much quicker than the shadow. You can get away with being a little bit sloppier this way. I don't know if sloppies are organic. Loose, that's the word for an artist who's being sloppy. Loose. There's a lot of energy. All right, so that's that one. And then I'll go up to pure white, but I'm only drawing at 50%, so it won't look white, but it's very bright. There, in this area on the lip, a little bit on the rim light, along here, a bunch right here, inside this, a little bit here, all on this. And then this one I'll erase too. So you can see this goes way, way faster. Okay, and then I'll do the super highlight, which is literally just white at 100% with a very small brush. So I'll zoom in. Oops, that's not what I want. There we go. That brush is not small enough. Oops. The monitor heats up and gets warm, and then my hand sticks to it when I want to. I see some people wearing like gloves, like sort of half fingerless gloves. I should probably get a pair of those, but I've said that many times over the years and never have. So yeah, if I just do it enough times, it'll work itself out usually. And we want a white line on here. I'll check chat in a minute. I think I saw something just pop up. Okay, just a little tink in there, a little bit there. You can see the other stuff, it was more like a wide brush stroke, and these are actually like precision lines, because otherwise it would like, you can see the lines too much, and that's not what I'm going for. I want it to look more like the edge, like the light's hitting a sports car or something. Because Ultraman's like a sports car. At least his mask is. All right, let me zoom out. Oh, I gotta get, well, you know what? I might be able to put one line, just like there's an extra splash, sort of like this, coming through. Yeah, I kind of like that, and a little bit in here. That goes back to the, like, is that realistic? I don't know, but it kind of looks good. Only, unlike with the shadows I did, I think that works better. And a little bit in here. And a little bit there. Okay, and then I got to get down the color timer. That's a little bit easier. Oops. And actually, I'm gonna some glow effects, but on top of the glow effects, I'm going to want a little bit of bright white. So I'm just going to put that in right now. There. And here as well. They have that sort of honeycomb thing on their eyes, which is tough because if you draw it, it looks weird. So it's better to kind of indicate that the pattern through color and shading like I'm doing here. But not too much. And actually, as I'm doing this, I'm realizing that I probably don't want it this bright, but I'll go over and erase it in a second. Okay, so let me see. So, okay, I'm happy with all that, but I do think those are a little bit bright, so I'm gonna just 50% knock it all down. And I might go back in and put highlights on top of that, but there was just too many. All right, that's coming along pretty good. We're at 6:30, so I'm confident I can finish this by 7, like I said. All right, let me see what happened in chat here. You get small. Okay, talk about names. Okay, let's see. Kieran says, yeah, you know you're an Ultraman fan when you can tell the difference between Man, Zoffy, Jack, Great, and Powered. Well, I will say I can tell the difference between all of those for sure. There are Ultra heroes that I might not recognize the name of because I haven't seen that series or whatever. I know a lot of them from the toys and other things, but yeah, all of those I could absolutely tell the difference pretty easily. So I guess I'm an Ultraman fan. Wow, it's getting bright. Oh, the sun. Yeah, I have the lights off, but the window shade is like right here. Even with the shade down, I'm getting kind of blown out. But there's not a lot I could do about it. So sorry. Just pretend I'm Two-Faced, but with like shading. I don't know. Well, it's about the art anyway here. So let's do that. And let's get back into the. Oh, I was going to do the glow. Okay, so not the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, but an actual glow. So what I'll do, similar to the shading, but more extreme, I'm going to sample the green and do a lighter green, and then get a really soft brush and make it big like that, a little bit bigger. Oh, not that big. That's good. And I'll bring the opacity down to 25%, let's say. Give it a little glow like that. That's pretty good. And then I will go even lighter and a little bit smaller and bring it in closer like that. And actually, I think I should have done one more big one. I'm going to kind of just draw over my own thing that I just did there, but whatever. Like that. Yeah, I should have started like this. I kind of messed it up. And then it fades out. So let me go backwards, try to correct what I did. And a little bit of white-ish. And then I will erase the edges there. Oop, whoa, way too much. Wrong brush. Let me see. There we go. And we'll bring the eraser down to 25% and a bigger diameter. There we go. Okay, that's there you go. Because I want to have a little bit of glow, but not too much. And then we'll do the same thing with the eyes, a little bit of shading on the suit, and then just throw on some background stuff. Let me check shadow. Did I miss anything? No, we're good. Let me make that full screen. Okay, actually, I'll do the eyes last because that'll be like he's coming to life. So I'll go ahead and do the red parts of the suit. So I'll select all of that. And then I'm only going to do two-tone darkness on this. So first, and I will use a soft brush this time. Oops, much too big. And make it 100% because I'm using a soft brush. So most of the shading is going to be done in the white areas, but I gotta be careful not to get too dark where it just looks silver because that defeats the whole purpose of the separation. Oops. Hopefully you didn't hear that. It's like the, hey, what are you doing, buddy? Noise that Photoshop makes at me. Okay. Okay, and then we'll do, oh yeah, I will do a highlight layer too. So I'll do one highlight and two shadow for the cloth stuff here, or whatever you want to call it, the organic textured stuff. Something like that, very dark. And bring this down in here. Down there. erase that because the light might be hitting that right there. Okay, and then I'll go with the highlight, which I'll do over the shadows, and I'll just make it a lighter color here. And again, it's sort of coming from above and to the right, and I will put a little bit there just to pop it out. Now I feel like I sound like what's his name, Bob Ross. Like, I'm just gonna put a little happy duder, just a little dinkaboo. I don't know what he said. He'd always little bloppy moppers. Gonna turn into some nice little jam joms. All right, so that'll do it for that. Let's see. Oh, nice Batman reference. Yeah. Yeah, I should try to like intentionally make it more severe. I am Harvey Dent, the artist. I just showed you my face. I realize I'm not on camera right now. I was just doing it. Okay, good. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let me put it back to this. There you go. I was doing a dumb thing that I'm not going to repeat, but you get the idea. All right, so let me do the shadow on the body that is not red. Oh, I never colored it white, did I? Okay, so here's something interesting. Because I want to have a background color, right now, like see if I throw that in, like there's just old stuff, it comes through because it's not white. So I need to draw white, but if I just draw white, I won't be able to see it. So I'm going to pick a color. I'll pick bright blue, and I'll color this all in with the pencil tool blue. And this is the layer underneath. Let's see, so if I was above it, it would be messing up like that, but I have it a layer underneath. So I color all that in blue, and then I'll fill that in. And then I know I have the area covered. That actually looks kind of cool. That like some other Ultra Hero with that could be, but that's not what we're doing right now. So now it's white, and now I know it's there. Then I'll merge this down, and now it's white. So all that stuff gets blocked out. And then I can also select the white so that when I do the shading, oops, wrong layer. When I do the shading, it'll stay within the white areas. So this is the heavy shadow, and this is the medium shadow. Okay, so I don't want to pick a gray that's in the face already. So I'm going to go to purple. Yeah, go to purple. No, blue. I'll go to that blue that I just used. So I'm picking blue, but I'm going to pick like almost white out of that blue. But this way, it's not a black shadow or a gray shadow, it's a blue shadow, and that'll help differentiate it from what I have in the helmet further as well. So is that big enough? Maybe a little bit bigger. Okay. So I get the shadow in here. And this is the lighter shadow. I'll go in with a heavier shadow as I did before. So I think that's good. It's still looks white, but it's got some shading. Because if I don't put the shading in, it's going to look weird. It'll look fake or like I don't know. It has to have some shading. Otherwise, it's not going to look like it's part of the same drawing. But it's tricky to make it look right with the helmet being a similar color. So there shouldn't be so much shadow up top here. I'll lighten that up. All right. I can erase some around here. All right, and then I'll go in with a little bit heavier. And this one is closer to gray, but it's still got enough blue in it that I think I'm okay. And the bigger, the more color is blue, and plus I'm again going to soften this like I do with the other stuff. Is that not? I feel like that's not doing enough right there. Did I put a highlight? Why is it? Oh, I'm on. What? My layering is weird here somehow. Oh, let me turn everything off for a second. Okay, so there's the colors. There's the light, and there's the dark. By the light being over the dark, oh, I see. So if I flip it like that, what does that do? Hmm. All right, I think what I need to do is put these, I put them on the wrong layer. That's what I did. Okay, so what I will do is simply create a new layer. Oh, okay. Got it. Sorry. I had this at 100%. I usually have it at like 75% so that the other layers could show through. So that's what I did wrong there. Okay, got it. So now this layer, the heavier one, could show through, but I'm still not loving that. So I'm going to put it back how it was and just add a third layer because since I set it up wrong and now I'm trying to fix it a weird way, but I'm just going to go ahead and make this its own layer. See how now you could actually see it showing up. It wasn't showing up at all before really. And I'll go in and soften it again, as I said, but I got to start with something here. Okay, now I'll go in and soften it. And then I'll take the whole thing on this layer and bring it down to 50. Maybe 75. 75, that's better. Okay. Oof, sorry about that noise if you heard it. I'm gonna take another sip of my old TT. Pardon my slurp. Okay, so let's do the eyes. I was gonna say let's do the background, but let's do the eyes because it's more important. So select eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and put some darker yellow / orange undertones in here. Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the whole thing like this, and then I'll erase like that. Okay, that's a good start. Then I'm gonna do another layer under that with even darker orange, but smaller. I'm gonna put a bit of that pattern in this way. But I'm gonna make that like 50%. There we go. And this is all going under. Eventually, I'm gonna cover this all up with a brighter glow on top of everything. Oh, right, I had the white spots on a different, let me erase this. And erase this. Those are the temp stuff. Where was the white? There's the white. Okay. All right, I'll leave that as it is. And what's this? I have an empty layer. Okay, sorry. Lost track of my layers here. I don't know what I'm doing. 7-layer dodos. What? Hey, listen, you talk mainly to yourself for 2 hours, you get a little wacky too. We had a big dog jump in. I got the chat going. That's nice. But most of this is me talking to myself. And I'm also trying to concentrate on the drawing. So, I can't promise I'll always be making the most lucid statements. But what I can promise is that I'm going to get a lighter shade of yellow and make that the next layer here. There we go. I like that. Yep. Yepper. And bring that down to 75. And then I'm going to take away the constricting lines, and I'm going to do 2 more layers that I'm not going to worry about fitting into the lines because I want it to bleed out a little bit like it's glowing. So we got one like this. And I realize that covers up almost everything I just did, but I'm going to lower the opacity a bit. Oh, wait, why did I do it there? This should be much higher. Well, whatever. Lower that to 50. Now lower to 25. And then I got to go all the way up to the top here. Do over the line. Now I'm going to pick almost 1, and I'll make this opacity 50. Fill that in. And I'm letting it go a little bit past the eye, which you can't see too much now, but when I put the background in, you should be able to see it. So hopefully that works the way I intend it to, which we'll see more. Yeah, this is a weird one. I like it, but I feel like I want to go back in and redraw parts of it to make it like super perfect. We're going back again to like, is this print worthy? But I'll just finish it as is and let the people decide if I should make a print or not. At least it's entertaining. My mental breakdown is not for your amusement. Actually, it's exactly for your amusement. All right, so I had done one the other day, and I kind of like that blue. So let me. Before I did this one as like a practice, because I hadn't drawn this character, I did this one, which is even less finished. But you can see I did it's very similar stuff, just much rougher, like even with the eyes and stuff. But what I'm going to do is maybe I could recycle some of the background here. Okay, let me get rid of everything that isn't background, which I think is this. Okay, and that. So I don't think I could use it as is. Oh, wow. I almost could just use it as is, huh? That could just be done. Am I crazy? I'll start with that, but I don't know. It's almost good enough. I think I want to put a little bit of purple in. I like how iconic that looks, though. A little bit of purple. And I'll use a weird texture brush, 25%. but mostly down on the bottom here. Just to pop it out a little bit more. I'm kind of digging that. Kind of pulls it together. I'll soften it a little bit here. And then bring the whole thing down to like 50. 75. I think that background works. And I didn't use it for another piece of art. I mean, I had that sketch, but it's not like it was a finished piece of art. So it's not like I use the same background on two things. So it's almost done, actually, at this point. Let me see what's chat saying here. Kieran says, but is there any Ultra you like the concept for, but wouldn't recommend for a jumping on point? As I really like the idea behind Cosmos, but I think people would watch some other ones first. I don't think I know enough series to make that recommendation or not recommendation. I would say don't watch Ultra Q because it's not like any other Ultraman series, so that would not be a good one. Even though I did enjoy a lot of the episodes of that. I would say don't watch Ginga. It's funny, you're right. I haven't watched that many series, but I would say don't watch Ultra Q and don't watch Ginga. And Ginga I like. But Ginga S I think is a good series. Ginga is not. Ginga is my samurai, my Power Ranger samurai, where I have a sentimental attachment to it because I watched it as it was coming out and it kind of got me into newer Ultraman. And it also, speaking of toys, it's lucky I have all this stuff hanging around because I did the panel the other day. I have this Ginga figure, which I love. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me see. And it's hard to see on this camera, but he cycles through all the different colors. He's not very posable. It's not posable at all, actually. He can just move his feet. But he light and sound, and he kind of is very Tron-like. I love this suit more than I like that series. And that's one of my favorite Ultraman toys of all time. But I wouldn't really recommend people watch Ginga. I would say watch Ginga S, which is weird because I usually don't say just jump in, but you almost don't have to watch anything about Ginga. You could just watch Ginga S, and it's a much better series with all the same characters and designs. So, yeah. What about you? Well, you said Cosmos, I guess. So there's that. I think I need to put a little bit of shadow on this other side. Oh, let me get this back up here. A little bit of shadow on the other side of his lip here. Since I have a little bit of extra time, I'll futz around for a minute. It's the highlight. So, okay, so the light shadow, bring it back up to 100 so I can sample it. And then get back to a normal brush at a normal size with 100% opacity. I think this in here. Why is that not working? Oh, I did do it right. There's just highlights I put on top of it. Okay, so that's okay. I realized that's why it was feeling weird and hybrid, like, and not like one of my normal styles, because almost always I don't have shadow shading layers at 100%, and this time I did. So I'm gonna put this at 75. This, wait a minute. Yeah, this shouldn't have been at 100% anyway. Did I do something wrong? 50, 50. Let me, sorry, I'm confusing myself here. Okay, there we go. I had it 100% because forget it. I, again, lost my mind, but in a Photoshop way. So let me turn off all the highlight layers. Okay, so if I turn off all the highlight layers, then it actually is in shadow. So my concern was that this part of the lip looked like it should be in shadow and this should be highlighted, but it wasn't working that way. So there we go. I got to erase the highlights in there. And I don't have to add shadow. I already did. I just accidentally covered over it. That's what I did. So erase that. All right, I think that did it. Let me see. That mostly solved that problem. Let me see. I could clean this up a little bit too. Yeah, we're definitely at the point now where it's either done or I need to like go in and like redo certain things. I'm going to call it done if I decide to go back and redo certain things, it won't be part of this stream. It'll be like, oh, people want a print of it. I better clean it up just a little bit in ways that no one will notice but me. But I am going to soften that a little bit, which I should have done before. I think I'm going to call it done. I'm going to call it done. And then, yeah, I'll throw it up, see if people want to print. And if they do, maybe I'll tighten up a few more things. Okay. Except there is a line that is driving me nuts right here. I overdrew. I contradict myself so much. It's okay though, because there's just me. I'm not hurting anybody but myself. And I'm not really hurting myself either. All right, I'm gonna call it. Oh, here's something else. I, for the longest time, didn't sign my work. If somebody asked me to autograph it, I would, but I wouldn't put my signature on it. I'm not sure why. I wasn't like embarrassed of it. Like when I was younger, I did, and then at some point after I became a professional artist, I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop signing my work. I blame my friend Kevin Schmidt because he didn't sign his work. But we were working as caricature artists at Six Flags, and I think he was like not particularly proud of being a caricature artist, maybe is why he didn't do it. But I was like, yeah, why am I signing my caricatures? Well, I don't need to do that, you know. And I stopped as well. Again, I don't even know why really. Like, and then I just never went back from that. But what I've realized is I have all these pieces of artwork now, which I am proud of, which I'll watermark and I'll put up on my sites and stuff. But like most of these, again, if you buy them from me, I can sign it if you ask, but they don't have a signature built in. And I never thought that was a really big deal, but so many times I've seen someone's art that isn't attributed to them, and then I see their signature, I can find them. And then big artists like Matt Frank, who does, you know, Godzilla stuff, he signs every piece of art. People know who he is. So I was like, yeah, why am I not signing my art? So my point is that I just signed this, and that signature will be included in whatever, digital, print, wherever it goes. It's got my name on there, and that's the new thing I'm trying to remind myself to do. So I'm going to save this. Oh, I realized I don't even know if I showed you the signature. It's not exciting or anything, but yes. Okay. I put it down. I did lower the opacity a little bit, so I put it down here because that's the other thing. I don't want to make it too ostentatious where it messes up the art flow. But see, I drew it real dark like that. I feel like it sticks out too much. But if I lower the opacity 50%, you don't notice it as much. It picks up some of the color behind it. It fits in better. Yada, yada, yada. Do I want to put a white highlight on the eyes, like on top of that, like the way I have on the gem? Let me just test it out real quick, since I'm so close to being done, both in time and in the image. Let's see. Oh, that is black. I was talking about white. Brush. Soft. Oh, I do. I absolutely do. As soon as I started doing this, I knew this was the right thing to do. I didn't know for sure, but now I know. And just a couple over here. Because it's kind of like if you draw a person and you draw the blacks of their eyes and you don't leave any white or you don't add any white, like it makes them look dead. It looks like, if you ever watched Jaws, it's like black eyes, like a doll's eyes. That's what Quint says. And it's so true. You need something there. And even though Ultraman doesn't have that sort of eyes, putting those in there, A, helps the texture once again, that sort of under honeycomb structure or whatever, but B, gives him a little bit of life to his eyes. So, okay, let me save it again. File, save. Then what I do is I save a low res, like 100 DPI, which it looks fine on the screen, but you couldn't print it. And that's what I'll share online on Instagram and all that kind of stuff, which is what I'll be doing at some point. So you will see that, even though you've already seen it, you'll see it again. So that is done. I'm going to move this over and check chat one last time because I'm getting ready to sign off here. And we don't need to show that anymore. So we'll just do this. Actually, I'll make it. Are you not? There we go. Check chat. Okay. Kieran Porter, my big problem with Ginga, all the fights take place on one stage and it grows very bland fast. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. But that wasn't even my biggest problem. My biggest problem was more the story. It was very bland, and they were kind of in this school, and they didn't really properly explain the setup to me. And it just felt weird. It was kind of a weird, like, show in a bottle, and they brought back a lot of classic characters and monsters, which was cool, but they did it in a kind of a weird way. But you're right about that. But it's interesting because it's kind of like and I would keep comparing it to Power Rangers. I'd watch a lot of the older seasons, and then I watched, I think it was Samurai, and it was like, wow, this is crazy good and interesting. And like Samurai, like the fight scene stuff, they weren't the best ever, but it was just like there was new effects and new suits, and it seemed amazing because I'd never seen that sort of stuff in Power Rangers before. That's how it was with Ginga. Like when he would land and like the smoke and the everything up from, like, wow, that's awesome, because I'd never seen that in Ultraman. But you're right that the actual, they're never like fighting in a city, and the stakes were never that high. It was always just sort of like 2 or 3 people, and it's not a great series, season, I should say. And let's see. The only reason I watch Ginga before Orb is because I love the Victory suit. I like the Victory suit quite a bit. I still prefer the Ginga suit. And actually, in did Victory showed up in Ginga, right? Or did it not show up until Ginga S? I don't remember. My recollection is I liked the character of Victory, like the host and the character of Victory and that underground stuff, more than the above ground like Ginga kids in the school. But now I'm mixing up which is which. But by the time we got to Ginga S, at some point in there, I liked Ginga better again, because I'm a sucker for like the stereotypical hero, and I do like that suit a lot. But I do have, I'm not going to grab them, but I have some Victory Spark dolls over here. Actually, oh, you know what? I will show you this one, because this is my favorite Ginga Spark doll. Let me switch it here. Turn this off. Oh, that's the wrong one. I meant to do this. This is my Ginga Spark doll. Now, it's semi-translucent and has sparkles in it, which is sometimes I like. I don't love it on this one. He's got the King Joe arm, but why I like it is because this was an exclusive that I got in Japan at the Ultraman live stage show that you could only get there. And I don't even know if it's worth that much, like some exclusive are, but the fact that I was at a live action Ultraman show and I bought it there, it's like one of my favorites for that reason. And I'll try to put it back there without knocking everything over. But okay, so art's done. We're almost at 7. I gotta go eat dinner. I call this a success. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me that did. And if you're watching this later, hey, thanks for that too. I'm going to leave this up. And tomorrow, for those that are interested, we're going to be doing Action Activate, and we'll be interviewing Colin Bass of Crimson Vision Studios and Unworthy Productions and First Ninja and a million other things, some DC projects and all that kind of stuff. So tune in around the same time. We're going to aim for 5, but again, it might start a few minutes after, because it'll have 2 more people in it besides me, and this is the first time I'm doing this. So, yes. Any other further things? Let's see. Victory was Ginga S only. Okay, so thank you. So my memory is weird. I guess coming into Ginga S, when I saw Victory, I'm like, oh, I like this guy better. But by the time we got to the end, I was back to liking Ginga better. So, I am Gazbot. This has been Art. Oh, you know what I should here? I'll use one other banner. You can buy my art on Etsy. Buy it now. I feel like I'm on like one of those old, what do you call it? Like Shop at Home Network. I don't know what you call them, but like boy, these knives sure are sharp for only $17.99. But look below, Gazbot on Etsy. Yeah, so you can get all this art, and if you want a print of this, let me know, and I will take it under consideration. But until next time, I am Gazbot. Thank you very much. I'm not going to say to the power because this is an Action Activate, but I will say thank you for watching, and good night. And I have to hit end broadcast twice, apparently.